Hi guys, another video, and this one it kind of hits a nerve with me because it affects so many people who got a site online and they don't have the skills or the knowledge or the expertise to really understand what the people who are helping them are doing. So what I'm going to say in this video is you need to hold your web developers accountable for taking shortcuts, making false claims, and doing anything that's not going to allow you to achieve your site's SEO goals. I've just seen it too many times, and like dealing with IT departments, IT personnel, uh, there's a lot of people who try to take shortcuts, and they just don't do a quality job. First thing I'd say is if you can hire somebody who can demonstrate that they can do an excellent job, they've got great quality assurance, they are known to do well in whatever it is they're doing, and even if they're expensive, they're going to cost you less in the long term. People who are cheaper, they tend to, well, one, be slower. Secondly, they don't have as strong as a quality assurance. Uh, sometimes it might not be the case, but in a lot of cases where I've worked with cheaper teams, things end up becoming much more expensive. Uh, but at the same time, it does happen with more expensive people. You just need to know what to look for and to make sure that people are held accountable for what they're doing. So, yeah, what I wanted to do was I wanted to talk about it in terms of SEO because like one of the big problems with this industry is this industry isn't regulated. So uh, anybody can make a claim saying that something is SEO friendly. This will this will impact your SEO in a good way. Like your SEO is right, and there's no validation behind it. There's no credibility. Uh, there's no accreditations. There's nothing to show to people that yes, like this person is qualified based on X, Y, Z. It's just people who are making a claim, and really, the only proof that's out there that's available is the proof of the work that they've done before. So we'd hope that the work that people have done before is really good, and that they follow, they follow what's required. But with a lot of web developers that aren't trained in SEO won't really understand what is specifically required now because they don't read like Google patents. They don't have experience with like testing for search engines. They are there to build websites and to develop code and to do other things on the website. They aren't SEO people. And what I tend to find is a lot of people will just brand their work as being SEO friendly. And this occurs especially with web developers who build themes or customize themes. And they say it's SEO friendly, it's sold as a part of the package. And unless there's a specialist with some web development skills who knows what to look for, then that's where the errors will start to come up. Uh, I've I've been finding this a lot in quite a lot of the projects I've been working on, and I've been surprised that uh, even now, how many SEO mistakes have been made on CMS systems with website management, with the way that websites were and are developed, and yeah, sometimes it just astonishes me because like the quality of the work just isn't there. One of the big problems I find is web developers who rely on fixes with web development apps and with widgets, uh, where it's fine, but to do it to the point where it bloats the site far too much, and it could be solved with some simple HTML coding or server-side coding. that can be a bit of a concern. Other simple things that gets overlooked, uh, like image compression, and again using apps, thinking that the apps will resolve the image compression or media file compression, when all of that could have been done before it got uploaded to the site. Uh, Another big problem is web developers saying that things have been done and they aren't done. And this is incredibly concerning because for people who aren't technical, they can only trust the word of the web developer. And I've had some experiences where like web developers have told me that they fixed certain issues, uh, thinking that I didn't know what to look for. And when I actually looked into it, so in this case, it was loading sequences uh, and what was being loaded from external sites and how it was impacting the website's loading time. And the web developer told me that like he fixed it. And when I ran the checks, I could see that it was still there. And then he still claimed that he fixed it. And yeah, it was still there. And then I spoke to another web developer on a similar issue, but it was a different project. And what the developer did was he was dismissive instead of resolving the problem. So if the web developer is dismissive, hold them accountable to at least provide a solution. In this case, I identified some issues with the sizes of media on the web page and the way it was being stored on the website. And I asked why it wasn't compressed, like why it wasn't minimized. And they wanted to push a different solution, which was to serve everything from a cloud. But the same problem would exist because the file sizes were far too large. When I pressed them closer to when I pressed them more to ask them why wouldn't they compress it before in order to make everything faster? Uh, like they said that they didn't really think of that as a solution. They wanted to go down the widget solutions or use technology which wouldn't even achieve the result that they wanted to achieve. And just to put it into perspective, the image compression could have been reduced by 60 to 70%, or even been eliminated just by managing the expectations with the client for the actual web design of the site, because the image was impacting the header loader. Sorry, the loading time in the header. So by removing the image, like, we would have solved the problem, and we would have sped up the page by, I think, 90%. But they didn't, I think, about that as a solution. So you really need to push the developers to make sure that they don't get comfortable, because they can get into their comfort zone and put their own interests before your interests. Poorly developed websites will give businesses little to no chances of ranking. So you need to make sure that your site is coded well. In another example, where I kept on analyzing this other website, and it was actually on the Shopify store, and there was all this code being injected into the header, and I couldn't work out why. And later on, I found out it was something to do with the development work, and like the development work was being outsourced to a really cheap team that didn't pay attention to detail, and that caused crawling errors. And in the end, by the time I finally identified it, we were able to get it cleaned up. When we finally got it cleaned up, we were able to resubmit it, and then the site started to rank again. But yeah, it's just like sometimes like the process through the IT team and the web developers can really hinder the performance, and it, you really have to like push for solid answers from your web developers and IT people in order to make sure that it doesn't affect the SEO performance. Now, if you don't have SEO skills or web development skills, I would at least advise you to learn the basics, or just have some working knowledge to know that what people are working on for you, they are actually working on what they are supposed to be doing, and they're not like pulling wool over your eyes and like pulling the fast one on you. So yeah, poor quality assurance can lead to costly mistakes. Make sure that whoever's working on your site knows what they're looking for, and yeah, all being well, you should be able to see the positive momentum continue to grow. So I just wanted to share that with you. If you do have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you next time.